great class. So today we're going to go over different type of golf swings, different type of clubs, and different type of grips, and different type of forms. We're going to go specifically into when you're going to use each club and why, and then your different type of forms and general golf stuff. So, more specifically, have you played golf or done any mini golf in the past?
Yes.
Can you speak up?
Yes.
Okay, so that's great. So she has a foundation that we can start with. So we are going to start with our dynamic warm-up, and then we're going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to do 2 laps. So we're just going to go touch the shed over here and come back twice. All right, go. Twice. Okay, great. So come over here in the middle now. We are going to stretch our shoulders, and then we're going to stretch our back. So start out, we're going to go with a couple forwards, and then we're going to go back twice, a couple times. Other arm, forward, back. Both arms forward. Both arms back. Okay, we're going to push them back to hold it for a couple seconds. Switch arms. Okay. Now we're going to bend over, touch our toes, touch our back a little bit. I think we're sufficiently stretched to play golf. So, first thing we're going to go into is the different type of clubs. So, here's your standard driver. As you can see, large front head, long shaft. So, you're going to use this typically about 10% of the game, maybe less honestly, because it's typically only used for the first swing of each hole. So when you're getting your grip ready for this one, you're going to interlock your fingers, your front pinky finger and your left hand, or your non-dominant pointer finger. Thumb's going to be straight up with each other. You're going to be interlocked. You're going to have a tight grip, but not extremely tight. It needs to be a little bit relaxed. So you're going to get in your stance, nice athletic position, feet a little bit past shoulder lengths apart, knees slightly bent, back straight. You're going to bring it up, keeping your front arm straight and your back arm will bend. When you get to your top of your position, you are going to bend your wrist inward so that the head comes up like this. You're going to slightly lean back with your front leg, and then when you come through, you are going to come up like this. Can't really explain that, it's hard to explain, but you're going to essentially drag a back foot. While you're doing this, you're going to keep your eyes on the ball entirely through the entire swing. You come like that. So, would you grab your driver and we'll go through the motion. Also, today we will be using wiffle balls. Just a lot safer, not worrying about chasing golf balls in the street or anything, and generally it's just a lot safer and economical. So, would you please get in your stance? You can get in with the ball over here. So I want you straight on with it. So you're going to come over basically right here. Get your stance, just so we can see a little better. So you are going to get your grip right. Grip's correct. There are 2 different type of grips. Professionals use the interlock. You can do the other one. It's preference, personal preference. Okay, so that's how you go through the swing before you actually hit it. Just go slowly through the swing. Okay, good. One thing you should focus on a little bit more is when you are swinging, don't bring that front foot off the ground. It's going to throw your swing off a little bit. So you want to swing again. I'll actually hit the ball this time. Go through it. Good. So with the driver, it's mainly focused on driving it down the golf course. Typically only used a small amount of the time. You also have your woods. We're not going to specifically go into that, but you can use those on the fairway as well. You also are only hitting drivers off the tee, and you can sometimes occasionally use your woods off of just the ground. It's a personal preference. Okay, so next we are going to go into your irons or your wedges. You're going to use these majority of the time you play golf. Throughout the fairways where you're going to be using these. So there's a lot of different angles with your wedges. We're not going to go into that today. Just know different angles, they're different. So we are going to get in the same stance essentially. You're not going to be quite as far out. Like you're not going to be sticking it out because it's a shorter shaft. It's not going to drive the distance, but it'll get you more precise shots. So we're going to get into our stance, nice athletic stance, foot apart. You're going to bring it up, backwards lean a little bit with your hips. So just like the driving motion, this one will be different because you'll be hitting it off of grass, so you have to keep that in mind. Please step back. So we're going to go, if I can hit it. There we go. So, typically I use these a lot. We'll go into putting later. We're going to have to switch places for that. So, if you would grab one of your wedges, doesn't matter which one, and then we'll go through it again. Alright, so would you practice the swing first without hitting the ball, and then we'll let you hit the ball? Alright, good. Just like your driver swing, keep your body a little bit more stiff when you're swinging. A little bit too loose, so that is obviously going to make the ball come off right. You're not going to get a straight on. So if you keep it a little bit stiffer, might be a little bit more beneficial. Also, keep your front foot pointed in a little bit. It'll also help you with your backwards swing. I will let you hit the ball now. Alright, I'll let you do that again. If you want to get a little bit more straight on with where we're hitting, so that, yeah, here. Keep your back a little bit more stiff and straight in your athletic position. It'll help you get more distance and drive on that. Yeah, keep your front arm a little bit more stiff. So keep them both like that, and then when you get to the top, remember your torso is not going to move when you get to the top. So you're going to come to the top, and it's going to actually move slightly, but you're going to try and keep it as much there as possible. Bend your wrist a little bit, drive through. Alright, go ahead. There you go. That was a good one. So I'm going to let you hit the ball a couple more times just so you can get in the groove of things. So we need 3 balls to hit, and then we will go on to putting and the different type of putters. There you go, that was a good one. That was good. Okay, so today we're not going to play any game as far as using the wedges and the drivers. There's just not a lot you can do with that just besides general practice swinging. There's also a different type of swing that you can practice. It's more chipping and it's more like getting out of sand traps and everything. So you're just gonna move your wrists on this one. Essentially, you're not gonna go into a full swing. You're just gonna go into like that. And that's more just to get yourself out of like a sand trap, or to get yourself over a target, or to get yourself tall. So I will let you do that one once. It's essentially the same as the rest of the stuff. And then we will go practice putting. There you go. She's got a flatter wedge currently. If you were to use like a pitching iron, let's just use my 6 iron for this situation. I think it was 6. Anyways, so the flatter is, sorry, this is my 9 iron. So see, notice how hers is flat like this? It's gonna come out very straight and very low. If you get one with more of an angle to it, it'll come up and pop over things. So that's more the benefit of using like a pitching iron and stuff. So now we're gonna go inside and we're going to get into a very different aspect of the golfing game itself. This is one that a lot of people will struggle with because they're not able to just tee off and everything. And we're actually gonna play a game with this one. So we are gonna head inside now and we are gonna get this all set up. So, okay class, so now that we're inside and on more level ground, we're gonna go and do the basics of putting. So when it comes to putting, there are multiple different putters you could use. We're gonna go over just 3 today. So this is one of your standard putters. It looks like this on the top. This is a mallet style putter. This is the putter that Riley will be using today. So here's that. I will grab my putter. The putter I use is the putter that you will typically see at like a mini golf place. It is a blade style putter. Just general use. It's personal preference as to what type of putter you will use. And then the third putter, which is really, I would say, pretty uncommon to see just out and about. We have the long shot style putter. This one is specifically a blade type. So this one, I'll show you this one. We're not going to use this one very much. So we'll get into our stance, and you're going to hold it at your sternum, at the top of your sternum over here, bottom hand like this, and essentially you're just going to use that to balance where you can go. So keep your eyes on the ball, just like the rest of them. You're going to go through your swing, follow through, and that's how you use the long shot. This one, you'll typically see some pro golfers use it. It's when you're far from the hole that you would see them using it, or when they're just generally struggling with their putting, they might switch to this. Again, I'm not going to use it today just because don't really need to. No, you won't see it often. Okay, so first thing we're going to get into is your general form. It does differ a little bit from your, how do I explain this? Your wedge or your driver, just because you don't need to get a lot of momentum into it. You just need to get the correct amount. So you're going to get your same grip that you would use on the rest of them that I showed you earlier. You're going to get your legs shoulder length away. You don't need to get too far. You could get closer if you want. It just depends on personal preference, like I said. So you're going to bend your knees a little bit, back straight, eyes on the ball, and you're going to follow through. So when you bring it back, you're going to go back, and then you're going to follow through. You're going to get a slight little lean with it. You don't have to turn your leg or anything, nothing drastic. And you're going to keep your arms stiff with this one. You don't need to bend it or anything. You just need to keep it stiff. So, like that. Today we will be using actual golf balls. That way you can get an actual feel for it, and I don't worry about generally you breaking stuff with these right now. It's just we need to get the feel of it, and we need to actually hit a golf ball to know how to use a golf ball. So this is how you would do it if you would like to step aside real quick. Nice stance, obviously, eye on the ball, bring it back, follow through, that's your putt. So now I will let Riley get into her stance, and we will kind of critique her stance a little bit. So if you would like to get your stance, and in general, this is all right-handed. We here are right-handed, so if it's left-handed, just think the opposite. Actually, if you would get more in the camera so they can see the angle right here. Yeah, there you go. So she's using the mallet type. If you want to keep your back just a tiny bit, point your head a little bit up more. That way the club comes off a little bit flatter to the ground rather than you're angled like that slightly. So I will let you go through your motion. Okay, I would say that realistically you're probably hitting it a little bit too hard to keep it straight. So if you want to bring it back slowly and bring it through with a little bit more momentum. There you go. Something that you might focus on a little bit more is you don't have to get all the way back like this. You don't have to go all the way back like that. Odds are if you hit it like that, you are going to not get the amount of, you're going to get too much on it, and you're going to go past your spot and you're not going to be accurate. So this is one of the, how do I want to say this? This is typically like your skill versus ability. So in general, the skill is something you are inheriting. So say driving out there, hitting the wedge, your skill would be how hard you can hit it and the distance you can go, because that's something that not everyone can do. Not everyone can hit it 100 yards, 200 yards. That's something that is inherited. So what we are doing in here is ability based, because we're not having to hit hard or anything like that. Ability is something you can learn and perfect. Well, not perfect, but get as close as possible. So with this, it's focus on accuracy and getting it in the hole essentially, and placement wise. That's the difference between ability and skill. Golf, you have both, but with better ability in golf, you don't have to worry about that general inherited ability of a skill. So today, I'm gonna let you hit a couple golf balls with your putting just to get it in general. I wanted to do this on a flatter surface rather than what we had outside today, just because you can actually see it going a straight line rather than your, how do I want to say this, your divots that I have out there. And that's what's going to be what you're putting on typically in a game or like a mini golf course. It's going to be flat. So I will let you hit a couple golf balls. So I'll give you 3. You hit a couple, and then we will go into our game. Okay.
Just show them here?
Yeah, you can step back a little bit so you can drive a little bit more. If you want to step back to that line back there, it's probably best. That was good. It was straight. Might put a little bit too much power. Let's just focus on keeping it on the carpet we have here. That way you can kind of get a tell for how much you need to actually push it. Okay, and the reason that one didn't go as far is she did not follow through. So what I mean by follow through is when you get to where you hit the ball, you're going to continue with it. That's going to drive the ball a little bit farther rather than stopping. The momentum just stops. So if you follow through, and when you hit the ball, it's going to look like this. And it'll drive a little farther, but you don't sacrifice accuracy from swinging it back so far. So I'll let you hit your final ball, and then we will go talk about the game and go into the game. That was good. Okay, so today for our game, and generally we could do this with our wedges outside too, just didn't want to today specifically. I thought putting would be a more safer and funner activity than hitting this type of game. So essentially what I have marked out here on the floor with painter's tape is what is essentially a flat cornhole board. So it's just your standard rectangle with a circle in the middle. It's a box here because not that accurate with my tape. So the way we're going to play this is, since there's only 2 of us here today, we're just going to play against each other. So general cornhole rules are, for being on the board you get 1 point, for getting it in the hole you get 3 points, and then say she gets it on the board and I get it on the board, they cancel out. So each round you will only one person will score, or no one will score. It's going to be up to 21 points, and that's how we're going to play it. You can play this in partners. If we have more space and another couple people, we can play it in partners. We will not today, just because of general, we just don't have enough of it. So I will show you the board that I marked out, and then I will also show you the line where we'll be playing from, so you can get a feel for what we have going. So here I have what is my cornhole board that I have marked out, and in regular cornhole, if you touch the ground in front of it, this point does not count. Since it's putting, it obviously has to touch the ground. One of the benefits of playing this game is you also will get a sense for strategy, as placement of the ball does matter, because say I hit it and she hits it after and knocks my ball out, I don't get a point and she gets a point. So each round we will have 4 balls apiece. We will go one after another with this. I'll probably just focus it on the game over here so you can see what we're hitting at, and we will go. So Riley, today, do you want to be the orange ball or the white ball?
The white ball.
Okay, she will be the white ball, I will be the orange ball, and we will go a couple rounds and then we will get this broken down. So she's the white ball. I will let you go first because I am a gentleman. Ladies will go first. Let's get this started. Okay, good. I have actually misplaced, unless you want to find them. I misplaced 2, so we might actually just do 3 balls per round. It just depends if we find it. So she did not hit the board. She is right off the edge of the board. So I will go eyes on the ball through the entire stroke, as per the entire golf that we're playing. Behind the line, and I hit it too far. So now it's Riley's turn again. There are no points on the board so far. I will let her go. Did you find your white ball? There's no balls. All right, so she just missed the board barely. Hopefully one of us scores this round. You just gotta feel out how hard you gotta hit it, and it's a little bit difficult. This is usually where people struggle the most with putting. And again, I hit it too far. Riley, your turn again. Okay, now she hit it too far. Typically, if we were outside, I would probably give us a larger distance. I just wanted to see if we could get it a little more precise in here with a smaller point. All right, there I am. I'm on the thing. Your turn, Riley. I will take my final turn. Just due to time constraints today, we will only play 1 round and we will then break it down, obviously. I played 2 rounds just to give Riley a little bit more of a chance at winning. There I go. So in that round, I scored 2 points. She scored 0 points. We will now go to the next round. Since I scored the most points in that round, or since I was the only one that scored technically, Riley will go second and I will go first. Did you get all 3 before your balls? Okay.
Yeah.
So I will go first, Riley will go next, and then we'll go from there. Line up your shot. And that does not count unless she hits me on. Go for it. So when you're hitting, I noticed that you have the ball closer to your back foot. Have it closer to your front foot, just slightly. It needs to be closer to the middle, but ever so slightly towards the front foot. And there I missed. So Riley, it's your turn again. So one thing sometimes will happen is you will drag it on the ground, and that's gonna obviously mess your shot up a little bit. That's what happened there. It's more like when you're not as stiff is what happens with that. So I will go again. And I have not scored in this round. Riley, it's your turn again. Okay, so there Riley knocked my ball on too. So if nobody scores besides that, I will be the one who won this round. So that's good. I need to move this section. Okay, Riley's turn for the last one. Yeah, so. Okay, so I won that round 2-0. So we'll just say that I was up to 21 and I won. So in general, today we went over the different types of strokes, different type of clubs, when to use them and what to use. Are there any questions today?
No.
Okay. So would you mind getting back into your stance and explaining the different steps of getting in your stance? For this, we'll just say get into your putting stance, and then we can talk about the differences between the other stances.
So I'm using the interlocking grip, making sure my thumbs are pointed straight. Putting my feet shoulder width apart, making sure my arms are stiff, and just slightly going back and then forward and following through.
Make sure to keep your eyes on the ball with that one as well. That's the main focus, because you take your eye off the ball, typically you tend to shank it. So the differences between the two different strokes, obviously, like your driving and then your wedge and then this, what's the main difference that you would think?
I would say your swing and how much power you put through it.
That's correct. So with putting, it is more specifically a question of ability rather than a question of skill. And with skill, we're talking not like how good you are, but how far, how powerful you can hit it. And that's quite the opposite with driving. Yes, you do want to be accurate with it, but it's more of a got to get it down the field, down the course, so that you can score quicker and with the least amount of strokes. So with that, with your wedges or your irons or your woods, you're getting a mixture of both. So you're not going to hit it as far, you're planning on hitting it more accurate, but you're definitely going to hit it farther than with, say, your putter. And that's the main difference between the three. Driving, distance, wedge / irons and woods. It's going to be an in-between. You're going to be more precise with it. And putting is typically just precision is what you're doing. So I guess with that being said, the lesson is over, and have a great day.